Hi, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies, with our ongoing public speaking workshop, which we do for all of you out there who need more command of public speaking. This is the second part of a email that was sent to me by a new school teacher, and she realized that there's so much public speaking, not just the students, but when you look at all the activities, extracurricular around the school, also the parent teacher conferences and the months, there's a whole lot more that teachers have to do to be confident and comfortable when it comes to public speaking. So, continuing on with the last video, for you teachers out there, you need to know who your audience. You can't prepare for a public speaking engagement without understanding who your audience are. So, ask yourself a couple of questions as you're going through. Is it the students today? Is it the parent and guardians of the students? Am I trying to get people in to join this extracurricular activity? Am I doing something in conjunction with the city, county, or state? You could take this exercise a step further and design your typical audience member. Give them a name, an appearance, an age, employment history, anything you would like to do for preparation, practice. You can even give it an age, employment history, you name it. We have to practice. See, public speaking starts with the writing. And many of the rules of crafting a compelling story apply to writing a speech as well. For example, we have to ensure our address as a beginning, middle, end, just like they taught you in writing. And if appropriate, recap regularly and sum up at the end. Outline our topics first using headings or keywords, then build your sentences. Engage your audience from the start by asking questions, by interacting. Use the rule of three to reinforce your points. For example, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Show, don't tell. Use examples and stories to illustrate your point. It will be a far more memorable experience for those in the audience. Write the speech from start to finish and read it out loud. Record it. Get feedback. If you have to use some type of aid, cued cards are still the best thing that's out there. But you don't want to put everything about your speech on the cue cards. They're just reminding points. If you put everything on your cue cards or notes and something happens to those notes, your speech is all out of order for your audience. Well, I'm using AV equipment. Doesn't make a hill of beans because you're going to be out of sequence. If you're going to use some type of aid, use a sentence or heading to sum up the topic of each card. Include keywords to jog your memory. Please take time to type or really print so this way there's no chance of misunderstanding what that word or words you're trying to use in that context. Color code your cue cards if your speech includes key themes. Number your cards. Write on just one side only, not on the rear side. Include approximate timing on your cards, plenty of space in between so you don't get your thoughts jumbled. And think about answers to likely questions and put them on relevant cards. If we're going to use any type of effective AV, we must make sure that the AV means something each and every slide in that deck. If you have slides in a deck that you're not going to use or you think you may use, My recommendation is just throwing them out. Now, once you started to speak, you won't have the mental capacity to remember long and complicated strategies and all types of things. Here's what you simply can do. If it's appropriate, have water with you. You can take a sip to fix a dry mouth, or at any point, if you lose your train of thought and need a moment to center yourself, take a sip of water. Audience sees you taking water. What you're doing is getting yourself back on pace. They never knew what hit them. Wear breathable, comfortable clothing when possible. Don't wear a color that will show up and it looks like you're being attacked for what you're wearing. If you're on a stage with lighting, it will be warm. Bear that in mind. We don't want to be too hot when we're giving a speech. Think about your physical status. I have a fantastic book that will teach you what you need to be doing when you're in front, and it's helped out a whole lot of individuals, including some ex presidents. I'll be glad to share that with you later. Now, imagine you in front of the group, your stance, your hand gestures, your eye contact, your facial expressions, but also your vocal tone and vocabulary. One of the reasons that many of our former presidents were so good with public speaking to the audience, even though they had a rigorous schedule, is the way that they made their gestures, their contacts as they were looking into the teleprompter. They made it believable because it was normal. It wasn't anything different. It was just what a person of that stature would do each and every day. And you're the same way when you're in front of those students. Make it natural, make it normal. You must make eye contact with the people that you're presenting to. Don't single out one person. Once again, we can show you ways of how you can fill the whole room and they feel like they're part of this. Write the word breathe on every cue card or note that you have. You might forget. Remember, the adrenaline is rushing, your breathing is getting increased. We have to find a way to slow it all down to make it natural. And afterwards, take a moment to reflect on what you've just achieved. Take note of what your body feels like now that the fear is gone. I suspect that it's going to feel pretty good. And that's why I enjoy public speaking like so many others. But the thing that you need to remember the most is that you're in front of an audience. They came to hear something relative that's going to help them in their life. That's what you're there for, to give that message, to give them that explosion, to give them that takeaway that only you can do because it's your speech and you must deliver it the best way possible. Once again, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies, with our ongoing series of public speaking. As always, imparting, you go out